So are you still looking at my channel on Twitch? Okay. So let me open up Visual Studio here.
Yeah, just put live.
Why is it not showing Visual Studio? Oh wait a minute. Any full screen application, right? I gotta get the properties here. Properties. Window. I want to show Debian. Here we go. Nope, not object browser. Oh, I think I gotta close Discord and or close OBS and start it over again. And you should see my Visual Studio and me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, so see, what did I do last with this? Oh yeah. I was just messing around with stuff.
Can you? No. Do I? Yeah. I hit follow, and you can keep.
Yeah.
Just click.
Yeah, just hit follow. Ooh, look at that. Fat Appa is now following.
Yeah. That up.
You, did you see it pop up on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oops. Yeah. I'm gonna do it different last night.
How's Discord going?
Please continue to Discord. It is done.
Okay.
Not this record.
Oh yeah, I see your test appeared on screen too.
Yeah, my son complains about me losing weight.
He complains about you losing weight. He doesn't want you to, or what?
Nobody wants me to. Yeah.
Well, I told you how easy that was, right?
Yeah. Ever since I retired, I haven't had to work out for misery. So
Yeah.
that's what that's working out.
Well, yeah, I'm down 112 pounds since last March.
Holy crap! You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I was 300 pounds in on March 22nd of 2019, and now I'm at 187.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Zero exercise.
What?
Yep. The
How'd
the
you do that?
the key is to stop eating anything that has sugar or carbohydrates in it.
Oh,
You know, so for me, it's basically I eat red meat, um, mostly red meat. Sometimes I'll eat some sausage, um, but I stay away from anything with sugar. That includes fruits and vegetables, because fruits are high in sugar, and vegetables have carbohydrates in them too. Right? So no breads, no pasta, no rice. Yeah, I read the labels on everything. If it has more than like one carb per serving, I don't even buy it. Um, so,
wow.
but I mean, so at first, I was eating 3 meals a day. Well, okay, before I even started it, I was hungry all the time, and I would just snack constantly throughout the day, right? And then when I went, and the reason I went no carb is because I got diagnosed with diabetes, and I started looking up how to control your blood sugar, and I started seeing all these testimonials from people and from some doctors. Not all doctors are on board with this, but a lot of them are.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell you that carbohydrates, and now sugar is a carbohydrate, so carbohydrates raise your blood sugar, right? So if you want to control your blood sugar, you got to cut out the carbohydrates. So I did that. To control my blood sugar and bring it back down to normal range. After the diagnosis, I went in for my month checkup, 30-day checkup, because he wanted to look at and see how I was doing after 30 days, because he wanted to put me on medication for it, and I said no, I'd rather try to do a diet thing first, because I don't like taking pills. And so that I went home and I started researching, got on YouTube, and saw all these testimonials about how they've beat diabetes by cutting the carbs. Their A1C, like guy said, my A1C was 14, and within 6 months it was 4.5, and I'm like, holy crap. So I went and I looked. And so then I just started doing that. Okay, what are these guys eating? Oh, meat. Meat is natural. It has no carbs in it, right? So my favorite thing was hamburger, So what did I do? I still eat hamburgers. I just don't eat the bun. That kind of stuff. And so 30 days after my diagnosis, I went in for my follow-up appointment, and how they weigh you every time you go to the doctor. The doctor walks in during that follow-up appointment, and the first thing he said to me was, how the hell did you lose 22 pounds in a month? And I said, really? I had no clue, because my pants weren't loose yet, but I was down 22 pounds. So I went out and I bought myself a scale, and I started weighing myself every week. Like every Sunday I'd weigh myself. And I was dumping 5, 6, 10 pounds a week at that point, because I wasn't eating. Well, like I said, before I was, I was snacking throughout the day, and I was drinking pop, sugary pop, and I was, everything I ate had carbs in it, everything, So I had to cut all that stuff out. So I just looked and I said, okay, I'm going to do this cold turkey. And I said, I'm going to eat nothing but hamburgers, sausage, and cheese is fine. I mean, if you get the right kind of cheese, it's fine, as long as it has like 1 carb or less per serving, So that cut out American cheese. So I started buying the Fiesta cheese, shredded cheese from Walmart. And I would just sprinkle that shredded cheese on my burger and then melt it, to get cheese with my burger. Mustard is fine. It has 0 carbs. Mayonnaise has 0 carbs. So I can still eat a lot of stuff, right? But so I started out, okay, I'm not going to snack anymore. I'm going to eat 3 meals a day, right? So I ate at 9 o'clock. I'd have like sausage with cheese, 2 sausage patties with cheese, and call that good for breakfast. And then at lunch, I would have either a hamburger patty or what I called a low-carb pizza. And I do the low-carb pizza once a week, which was, you can buy a low-carb tortilla, right? Which, that's one thing about carbs, is dietary fiber is also a carb, but it does not increase your blood sugar, right? It doesn't affect your blood sugar. So like these low-carb tortillas, they have like 14 grams of carbs per tortilla, but all but 4 of those carbs are dietary fiber. So basically those tortillas have 4 net carbs, right? So I would basically have a low carb pizza, which was the tortilla, the low carb tortilla, and then I'd sprinkle mozzarella cheese on it, and then put some pepperoni down and put a little bit more mozzarella cheese on top of that pepperoni, stick it in my toaster oven for 10 minutes, and have that for lunch, and then for dinner, I'd have another hamburger patty. I usually, like I said, I put cheese and salt. And now you got to stop eating table salt, because table salt has dextrose in it, which is sugar. So I use either the pink salt, Himalayan pink salt, or sea salt. But I mean, I had to give up ketchup because ketchup is loaded with sugar. Barbecue is loaded with sugar. So basically, I have a hamburger patty, salted. Oh, and lots of butter. Not margarine. Margarine is not good, but if you get real butter, because what you want to do is you want to eat a lot of fat. That sounds kind of counterintuitive if you're trying to lose weight, but fat does not make you fat. Sugar makes you fat, and I've seen doctors go through this and explain it, and it makes perfect sense. Back before the late 70s, right? We mostly had fat in our food, in our cereals, in all the food we ate, right? But then I forget who the president was at the time, but he had a heart attack while he was in office. He almost died. And that kind of put a scare into everybody. And then this one guy, his name was Ansel Keys, some scientist. He decided, you know what? I think our intake of fat is causing rising cholesterol, and that's creating buildup in your veins or your arteries that supply your heart, and therefore that's causing you to have heart disease. So he studied like 22 countries, right? Supposedly people high fat consuming countries. He studied 22 countries. Only 7 of them fit his hypothesis, right? So he only included those 7 countries in his study, which is called the 7-country study, right? And so he concluded that yes, fat is bad, so we got to remove fat from our food, right? He did. He screwed us over, and that's when the government came out with their dietary guidelines. You know, that food pyramid, and when they removed fat from the food, fat is what made the food taste good, right? So now you had bland tasting food, they added carbohydrates basically to make the food taste good again. These doctors, they showed this chart of the rate of obesity and diabetes in the United States, and it was like pretty much like 2% up until 1978, 1979, when the dietary guidelines were created by, the Heart Association and the government and stuff. And as soon as they removed the fat from the food and replaced it with carbohydrates, boom, the rate went from like 2% to 60%. And it's still climbing. Right, so for like 40 years or whatever, we've been eating like this, and that's why we're all getting fat. Because this diabetic doctor I saw, he explained it the way fat is created in your body is that when you eat carbohydrates, that causes your blood sugar to spike, right? So how does your body fix that? Your pancreas creates insulin that basically tells your body to burn those carbohydrates, right? Well, if your body is burning those carbohydrates, it's got nothing, it's got all this extra, this fat, right? Because it's burning carbohydrates now. It's not burning fat. So it's storing the fat. And it's, I'm going to stop this stream. I hope nobody's watching.